Believing in yourself is the first secret to success. We are proudly announcing that our student Yani has successfully achieved her dream by believing in herself. Her hard work and perseverance has proved that her title RN belongs to her name. Please help me in welcoming Yani, and we are going to discuss that what helped her, what was her timetable, and how did she achieved this title, how she earned it, what are some do's and don'ts while preparing for the NCLEX exam. Please help me in welcoming Yani, the RN Yani. Thank you so much. Welcome, Yani. Congratulations. I'm
Thank you
so
so
happy for
much.
you. You are
Thank
RN Yani now.
Yeah, I hope so in near future, yes.
Yeah, I'm so happy for your achievement. It's a big achievement. I feels like if it's me who passed the exam, I can't tell you how I'm happy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was so sudden because I was thinking the results probably gonna take some time, but
Mhm.
I got the email the next day in the evening. Like I was 5 minutes away from my home and it was so I had just an anxiety attack, I'd say.
Oh my goodness. So what was you doing at that time when you received the email? How you felt?
I felt there's no words to be exact to speak like how I felt. My sister was driving, so I had to ask her like, you need to stop the car because I think I got my results. So yeah, we stopped the car and then I saw like it says that you have passed your NCLEX exam and now these are the further steps. And I was like, I read it 3 times to be exactly sure that that's what it says. And yeah, and I told like, yeah, I passed my exam. It was just I don't know, it was so much of happiness and relief actually, because I have studied hard for first 5 6 7 months
Mhm.
and I've put everything whatever I had in me on this exam, and yeah, I passed.
Oh my God, you are going to feel this like this is going to be nostalgic throughout your life.
Yeah,
You will remember that day when
yeah,
you earned the title of the RN throughout
yeah,
your life.
yes, I do.
It's going to give you goosebumps throughout.
It is a changing, it is like one of the most important milestone of my life because this is where I will begin my professional career in Canada. So it is a big, big, big milestone that I have achieved. Like, I don't have words to say how big it is for me because this was the dream that at some point of my life, I have dropped it. I talked with Sarab the first time. That's how I got my hope back into nursing. Because to get all the credentials done and the process, and it was so time consuming and so confusing that at one point I thought, you know what, I will do this when I have time. I don't have time right now because I was on student visa. Now I have to worry about my work permit, then I have to worry about my permanent residency. So there was a lot going on. I thought
Mhm.
like, if I have to do these, then I think I will do it once I get my permanent residency.
Of course.
But when I talked to Sarab in last May, and she told me how she's going to help me throughout what are the things that I need. And she guided me throughout the whole way. We talked for about like 2 hours probably. And she explained everything to me, like how it's going to be if I'm with you guys and how the thing's going to work. And it was so smooth transaction that at any point of time I didn't find like, oh, what I'm going to do now, what I'm supposed to do, I don't know, because there was no point in this time period timeline that I had no idea what's going to go. I had a whole layout plan in front of me, like what's going on, what I am supposed to do now. So that was a big stress relief. It was a big mental support as well, to know what's going to happen, to know you have someone to guide you and to support you, to show the light where you need to go. Yeah.
Yes, amazing. Sarab is amazing person. She is amazing
Yeah.
mentor for anyone.
Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky person to have her as my business partner, and she's amazing.
Yeah.
And to begin, because you since you started your journey from the beginning with us when you started to know
Yeah.
Sure Success, but with the purpose of this video is to help the students who are
Student.
preparing for
Yeah.
the NCLEX RM
Mhm.
that let's begin from the beginning. That
Okay.
how did you prepare? Because many of the students are questioning that, oh my God, the stress level is so high. And I
Yeah.
do accept that the level of the exam is being tough from last
It
couple of
is tough.
years. And
Mhm.
I can't compare it to even the exam I wrote it,
Right.
because it
Right.
was possible to pass the exam in 75. Every other students are passing.
Mm.
And it is so tough now. All
I
right.
know.
So let's begin that. How was your study pattern how was your timetable? Let's begin from that.
Okay, so I used to work part-time when I started my journey to give the exam. So f- like from the first day, I started being a part-time, because if you invest your time from starting, it's gonna pay off at the end. But if you're gonna say like, oh, I'm gonna work full-time now, and like in the last few like say few weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks, I'm gonna take off, and then I'll devote all my energy and strength to that. I don't think so that's going to work, because you have to maintain a pace. If you are not spending time, your amount of energy starting, if you want to spend at the end, I don't think so it's going to work, because your mind would be overburdened with the things which should have been into your mind since starting.
Mhm.
So I started my day. I was not an early riser, so I was always a late riser. So I used to be up at like 8, 9, 10 probably. I had then I started for the first weeks, whatever we had the classes. I used to go through the videos, and I used to make my own notes, like
Mhm.
specific notes, like stickers, and used to paste in front of my eyes, whatever the topics, for example, metabolic alkalosis, acidosis, and respiratory acidosis, alkalosis. So I pasted the sticky notes in front of my eyes. So every time I'm looking forward, I am revising that again and again and again and again. So like it's 1,000 times I'm seeing, so 1,000 times I'm remembering. So it is in my mind, like it's a permanent memory. So that is a big say point. If someone is preparing for NCLEX and the main topics, just write like the main subjects, or the mnemonics we say, and you can just paste the mnemonics in front of you, and so that you don't have to go back into your slides and revise the whole slide or the whole content. It's rather just you see and you know what it is. Second thing is, the first time you started studying for NCLEX and you have the normal values, I would say the first step would be to add the normal values. And because I got a lot of questions on calculations, and they were very tricky calculations. So you should have all these like 1 mg equals to how many grams, and sort of like all the
Mhm.
conversions in front of you. Because I got a question from O's and cups to grams in
Yes.
single question. So, and I was so thankful that I had that whole page in front of me on my wall. I knew by heart. So what's going to be in 1 oz? How many oz will be, how many grams will be in 1 oz, or how many cups will be in 1 oz? So it
Mhm.
was like, it took me
Quick
only a
for
minute to
you.
solve that. But if I
Mhm.
didn't know that, my
Mhm.
question would be wrong.
Mhm.
Another thing that I used to do that felt me really helpful, if I'm studying for a whole week,
Mhm.
then take one day or one night in your whole week, go out with your friends. 3, 4 hours is enough. Go out, eat, drink, have talk with them, because that's going to relieve your mental pressure for sure. That worked as wonders for me. Like for the whole week I'm studying, and just one night I'm out with my friends, living my life and just relieving the pressure off my mind. So next week I'm starting with new energy, with new set of like say thinking skills, and like I'm all freshed up.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Yeah.
Giving like we are sleeping, we are actually not sleeping when we are preparing for NCLEX.
Right.
I
Yes.
remember that I used to have the questions even in my
I
dreams.
know. Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So our brain really needs a break.
Yes.
We have discussed that previously as well, that how much important and your performance, you will see in everybody's life, you
Yes.
will see acceleration in your chart, like you are scoring 40%, 50%,
50%.
60%,
Yeah.
65, and then you suddenly drop to 40%.
Right.
It
Yeah.
happens. And if it is happening to the viewers, anybody who is
Mhm.
watching this video, it is all normal. All you need is take a literally break. Like I would say if you have time in your exam, like 1 month or more, take
Mm.
1 week break.
Yes.
Your brain need healing.
I would say do not study anything in last 3 days. I did not study at all in my last 3 days. I'm not even thinking about it. Go to sleep, enjoy with your family, with your friends, make nice dinner, lunch, go out. I live in Vancouver Island, so I have to go to Vancouver to give my exam. So the whole day before my exam, I was out eating all the Indian food that I can get there because we have limited options on island. So I'm like, I'm not concerned about my test right now. I just need to go and eat. So this was a trigger factor in improving my mental health and
Of
before the exam, because if I'm stressing, if I'm reading everything again and again and again,
Mhm.
uh, it's not gonna work because your brain will be all burned up from
Yeah.
studying. But that did really help me.
So Yani, if I have to ask you, if you
Yeah.
want to tell the students that how much time is enough for a day and how long they should be studying. Like for this question, I want specifically to give me a day. Like sometimes I know the students, they are still working and they're just thinking, okay, I will do part-time or full-time. I will write the
Yeah.
exam in a couple of days. Will it work? Or you need to take off, and how much hours you have to put in to achieve the success.
Okay, so this totally depends on students' retaining capacity, how they can retain or how they can work. Some can make it work with full-time jobs, some cannot. So that totally depends on students. But I would say, like, if you are working, so on any working day, I would say if you cannot like complete all the revision part, at least do the questions. I used to do the days I used to work. I used to study in the morning just to do 75 to 100 questions every single day. Doesn't matter if I have work or not. So the best part is do questions first thing in the morning. I think that's what you told me, and I followed that lead
Mhm.
even though. And then after doing my questions, probably gonna take me around an hour to do so, an hour or 15 minutes. That was the maximum for 75 to 100 questions for me. And then I used to take a short break, go and have my lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever the time was. Then I come back and revise whatever the questions is. So what helped me in good was I used to UWorld as well. So there was like one tutored and one timed. So I
Yes,
never did the tutor. I always did the time, 70 questions in one go without giving the explanation with each answer.
of course. Yes.
So I started doing that for first, like doing tutors. So what happens is like I find a question wrong, like I did a question wrong, then it demotivates me. Like, oh, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. This is also wrong. This is also wrong. Oh, I'm not achieving anything. That's what I got with a tutored one. But then I start doing the timed one where I won't get the answers at the same time. So it helped a lot and also saves your time rather than doing question and studying about it, doing question and studying about it.
Mhm.
Then I would take like topics.
Mhm.
For say I used to plan my whole day, actually whole month on here, like at what day I'm supposed to do which topics. For
Mhm.
example, I want to have like endocrinology done. So
Mhm.
I would just say not one single day. I would do 2 days for
Mhm.
endocrinology so that like I'm revising it. I'm doing questions on endocrinology and 75 questions for whole, like not specific system wise, but as in a whole. But then again, questions in the specific endocrinology. So
Mhm.
that's how I used to like revise first day endocrinology, at the end of the day do questions. If I cannot do at the end of the day, next day I'm going to do 100 questions on endocrinology, then again revise wherever I had made mistakes, like where was I wrong,
Mhm.
what's the rationale behind the question that were wrong.
So you were doing the material first, and then the questions of that particular
Yes,
subjects. You were
yes,
doing that
yes.
one.
Yeah, I
So
was doing that way.
yeah, I'm very proud of you that you was able to do that. That is what we wanted our students to do, that because our schedule is like that. We are teaching you, we are giving specific number of hours to
Right,
complete the core content, and
right.
we are putting the student, encouraging the students to kindly practice. It is not just the revision of knowledge, like it's not the
Right.
content it's going
No,
to come. You have to
no.
practice the question. All right,
Yes,
you have to apply the knowledge we gave you in the class,
classes.
and
Yes.
let you face the questions that how
Question.
it's going to be. And
And
I'm glad you worked for that.
and
uh,
that is so
mhm,
true because I sat in an exam and to be honest, there were like 1 or 2% of questions that were from content. Everything
mhm,
else was your skills or your knowledge that you put into your exam. You have to figure out those things. So it is not that whatever the content you provide, it's making your knowledge.
mhm.
So the content will for sure not
Yes.
come.
This
That
is
is
the
400%
number
sure.
one, Yani,
Mhm.
the since the first class, we are telling the NCLEX exam is not at all about the knowledge,
No,
nursing knowledge.
no,
No, it
no.
is how you apply the knowledge.
Knowledge. Yes, that
You it
is.
assume that you have the knowledge. Yani already know what is
No.
cardiac arrest is, or what is the cardiac tamponade is,
Yeah.
but can you apply this knowledge when the person coming with the jugular vein distension
Tension.
and who is
Yeah.
having the BP changes when he's breathing in and out? Do you know, can you apply that knowledge here?
Yes.
Do you know what's going on? Yes,
Right.
that is very correct. That is totally, some of the students who are thinking that reading the books,
No.
it
Doing
is
the questions is the main. To apply
is
that knowledge is the main. I have first-handed experienced that because I was like on tips with my content. Like I said, like I know everything about the content. And when I started doing questions, like
Mhm,
at first I revised the whole content, then I started doing the questions. And I was like, I didn't read it. I don't know what to do. I don't know. And I was so confused, like what I'm then I started to, just read it in a one go rather than then just learning it and consuming it. I just read it in a one go, try to understand the rationales behind it, and then do the questions. So it was way, way better than actually relying on the content, but just to gain the knowledge.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, of how you prepared, right? And
Yeah.
how long, if you remember, Yani, how did long you prepared on this preparation, like very seriously?
Um, to be honest, I didn't take it seriously in the beginning few months because I was still my brain was coming around the idea to go back into nursing. And I have to, because it was so long that I have studied nursing. So all the its and bits of nursing education was out of my mind. So
Mhm,
it took me around 2 months to get into schedules because you cannot easily get into a schedule of studying like 5 hours or 7 hours or 10 hours a day. No, it takes time. So
mm,
take that time. Don't think that, oh, I can't. Or you will be.
mhm.
It will take time, but you will be in a schedule where you know that yes, now I can
It's a
devote
time
complete.
for me to be serious now, right?
Yes, 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 totally. So my exam was in on December 20th. And
Mhm.
I think I started seriously starting planning July end or say I say August starting.
Oh,
That was the,
amazing. Yes,
that was
that
the
is.
main like these are like 3 4 months now because I was first starting to get my exam done in October end or November, but I my ATT did not come by the time.
Mhm,
But my focus was October end.
mhm,
Okay, so I started from July and like 2 months now. All I'm doing is questions. I had enough of content. So like questions, questions, questions. Every single day I used to do like UWorld questions, and there are other free sites where you can get the questions, and you guys also provide questions. So that's how I came into practicing my skills of
mhm.
answering the questions rather than learning the content.
Hmm.
That is really important to know the skills to answer the questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Yani. So now let's move on to the day of exam. How was your feeling and how was your exam?
The day of the exam, well, I had a snowstorm, so I was so worried that I be able to reach my destination or not. So I started my journey like way ahead. So I was very anxious to reach my destination. But after that, once I reached there, I'm like, okay, I reached there at 11 a.m. and my exam was at 12:30. I didn't go directly into the examination hall. So I sat there at the stairs. I relaxed myself. I listened to a song, whatever your favorite song is, listen to it, hum it. I would say that did really help me to ease up my mind a lot, like a lot. It eased up my mind. And when you're going to give an exam, and if you remember your favorite song, in it also helps in between the exam, because when you're stressed, just hum that for 2 seconds maybe. So it's gonna, just refresh your mind and you can start thinking again. So I did that for like 15-20 minutes. Then I talked to my mom. She gave me all the best. And she said, like, don't worry about it. In case it doesn't go well, it's okay. You can try the next time. So that encouragement also helps that, okay, nobody will be disappointed in me if I don't pass. Because it's a lot of pressure. I went there. People were very polite. To all the whatever they had for requirements to read and to all these activities that they do before the exam. I was shaking, to be honest, because it was nervous. I was really nervous. Yeah, then I went to the exam and it was quiet. They gave me the headphones, so the nice proving headphones. And what helped me, when I used to do my one, I used to speak loud, questions loud, so that I can hear the question and my brain can hear the question. So I was not a silent reader. I always used to speak a little bit louder. So each question I used to read and a little louder so that I can hear myself, not the others. And then I try to think. And yeah, that's how I answered. So after every question, like once a question is done and I press the next, I used to close my eyes, like put eyes in here, like because my hands were cold. And when you're staring into a screen, your eyes tend to burn out. They're like hot and you just can't concentrate. So after every question, just for 2 seconds, I used to put my hands on my eyes and trying to calm them. And then now I see again, so I can focus more. Because it happened like till the end of the exam, I was not able to like open my one eye because it was so much of radiation and stuff. And now you cannot focus. The best part would be to take breaks, the scheduled breaks, or if you want to take in between. I did take break at 65, 70 question, and then again at 120 question. Do not take like 2 minutes or 3 minutes break, or like maybe like you take at least 10 minutes break. Go to washroom, splash some water on your face and your eyes, drink some water. I would prefer hot water if you're doing in winters, and take some granola bar or candy or something sugary to give you the sugar high. So I did take both the breaks, did the same routine in both the breaks, and then went into the examination room with a fresh mind again. If you're not taking the breaks, your mind will be all burned up, all the energy, all the thinking capacity would burn up. So do take breaks. Take as many as you need. It's 145 question. You will be done within probably 4 hours, like max to max 4 hours, 145 questions. So you have 1 hour that you can take as a break. So utilize that time. It is really like really gonna help. Taking the break in your exam gonna really help a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yani, because I've interviewed a couple of other students and they did mention, both of them, they did took the break as well. And since the exam is, no doubt, it is so hard. And this is the common thing which is coming up from the achievers, that yes, all of them, they did took the break and they took some time to calm their brain so that they are ready for the next session.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So what you said, I wanted to ask you what made you feel better during the exam, and yep, any other tips than the breaks?
Yeah, the thing I told you, your song, whatever is your favorite song or what you want. If I'm feeling like stressed at some point, because there is no time limit for any question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in between, if like feel like you don't want to take a break, but you need to calm yourself, just for like 30 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
just close your eyes and just think about that song, like whatever the song you like, it's a video. You can, you can play a video
Yes,
in your
yes,
mind. Just play that video in your mind and just that will like giving 30-second short break is a must. If you feel
is
like you're
must.
tired up, it is a must. It helped me a lot. Like I was not tired by the end of it. Like I can still use my critical thinking because I
Mm-hmm.
was taking the 30-second short break. Like even after 10 questions, take the 30-second short break. 20 questions, take the 30-minute short break. It will keep you going till 60, 70 questions in one go without frying up your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. And Yani, how about let's move on to the content of the exam. So, how would you say that what was the content? So let's move into the questions now. So,
Okay.
what challenges
Um,
you faced?
content, the questions were very tricky. You
Mm-hmm.
uh you want I'm not sure like how well was it before, but this time when I was working with the U World and stuff, I did find U World pretty easy.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did find U World and the questions pretty easy because the questions were like they were so tricky. Like I had this question where you say the person with positive tuberculosis had 3 negative sputum
Mhm,
samples. So what are the care preventions you're gonna do with them? So
mhm.
at that time, and you when you see the answers, when you see the options, you will think, what? Like there are all the correct answers. So you don't know, but now you need to know if what are 3 negative sputums, and the question is saying it is a positive TB patient,
Mhm,
have 3 negative sputums.
mhm.
So now what are the precautions that you need? So it's trying to, wire up thinking between, is it a positive bacteria or is it a negative? So what do you
Uh-huh.
want to do? So there are really tricky questions. You have to focus on the wordings. You have
Mhm,
to focus on the main um, points of what the
mhm,
question is trying to ask you. There were a lot of questions on ethical and cultural, social dilemma questions. There were a lot like autonomy or maleficence or beneficence, something
mhm,
like these. So you need to go through the ethical and cultural issues in nursing.
mhm,
A lot of delegation questions, yes, especially for UAP. So you
mhm.
have to be very, very thorough with your UAP and the LPN, like what you can and what you cannot tolerate. There, I would say there were like around 20 to 25 questions.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
yes, did it
And
help our content? Like
of
we have
course, that I was saying,
done
I
a
was
lot
so
of questions.
glad. I was so glad that I know these UAP delegations and all these delegation by heart. So I was glad that I was getting these delegation questions. Like I know these are right. I
Mhm,
know these are right. So yeah, do questions on delegations and priority questions. A lot of priority questions and SATA. Like I got maybe like 60 questions, SATA questions. And how you helped me like at the end, we were doing
mhm,
like all these SATA questions, all these SATA questions, all these SATA questions. It did help to brainstorm myself during the exam. Like now I'm doing I have to tell you, when I was doing SATA question, what would Alvin think? What would Alvin say for this? What would Alvin say for that? So I did that in my mind for every SATA question. And as you
okay.
said, like, do not think, like, overthink yourself. So I did not try to overthink, but I don't know. I just keep repeating myself, like, what would Alvin do? What would Alvin say in this one? Yeah. For
Mhm.
every SATA question, I did that.
I'm glad that the SATA classes we did for
Yeah.
last week did help you, because
Yes.
SATA question is one of the challenges. And for your batch, I really wanted you guys to be well prepared for the
Yes.
SATA questions, and I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. And can you tell, can you recall some of the questions if you want to share with the?
Yeah, there was I to be honest, I don't remember actually what were the questions, but I know the topics that were the questions were on.
Mhm,
There were a lot of mental health questions regarding schizophrenia,
mhm,
bipolar disorder, and drugs were I think atypical antipsychotics. There were a lot of on atypical antipsychotics questions like on haloperidol, and they said if like patient is on haloperidol and he's getting some sign and symptoms and these are his levels, but he's showing these sign and symptom for his disease condition, so what are you going to do? Hold the dose, call the MD. And these were like I did get a question like that.
mhm,
But it was the normal side effects that we got on a haloperidol.
mhm,
So like half the time we think, oh, it's a side effect, we gotta call MD,
mhm.
or we gotta hold the dose, or we gotta stop or reduce its effect. But at that, I think it was like to give the dose rather than stopping it, because these were like mild symptoms that were expected out of haloperidol.
Yes, yes. And then these the antipsychotic medications are one of the very, very hotspot
Yeah,
question, along with the cardiac, and then with the diabetic medications, especially
yes,
the insulin,
diabetic,
and
yeah,
and some of the aminoglycosides
right,
including.
yeah,
And everybody should know by heart before
right.
going to the examination hall.
Conditions.
And Yani, one last question that I do give credit to my students all the time, that they are the one. It is their hard work, their determination, and their sweat which brought the results.
Yeah.
And do you feel that short success has helped you a little bit, or if yes, like how we helped
Oh,
you?
I don't have words to say like how much guys you helped me, because there is no determination in like how you helped me. There was like so much, like all the content you provided me, all the classes, and all the thinking skills that you guys provided and taught us did help me. Like I would say you guys put like 70% of the effort that I put. It was my only my 30%. It was just my using that knowledge, whatever you provided me to my questions. All the knowledge, all the work were done by you guys that I just memorized into my brain. I just put it into a habit. It was all you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. But you're being so generous here. I
No,
because
I
we are the catalyst, Yani.
right. Yeah,
It depends on the person. If you want to achieve the
right.
goal, it is your hard work. It is how much effort you are putting. Effort in the sense, are you listening to our videos? Are
Yeah,
you doing the questions which
right.
we are sending you? We are
Yeah,
providing you all the best resources we
yeah.
can throughout the computer or the
Computer.
system, the internet.
Yes.
We are giving it to you, but it is you guys who are working hard and how you are putting the efforts
Putting
in.
that, but that's
And
what I'm saying, the 30%, because the main thing is providing the knowledge. If you don't know the knowledge, you cannot put it. But if you have the knowledge and then you manifest into yourself, is your effort. But the
Mhm.
thing is that you are providing that sort of knowledge, that sort of teaching skills, then that means you are doing like 70% of the part. It is now on us if we are applying that knowledge or not. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say here is you guys are doing the major part of providing the skills, the content from all around. If I was by my own and I have to gather all this information, all these skills, it's going to be a hard mess. Now you guys are providing me everything at one place. Now my only job is to read and to apply. So that is taking all my effort to find out the information and then collect it, organize it, and then read it and then apply it. So I have to just now read and apply.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your
Yeah.
kind words. And in the last, I want to know that what will the do's, don'ts, and the tips for the students who are preparing for their NCLEX exam and who are really stressed out right now. And yes, so here you go, Yanni's tip.
Okay, my tip, I think I already shared all my tips. Like, go out with your friends at least once a week. If you can go out twice, even go for a coffee with your friends and just freshen up. And I'd say make a schedule, like a strong schedule for yourself. How I put as I put like paper, my whole calendar, and dating out every single day my topics that I need to do along with my questions. So if you have a calendar and you have scheduled your whole month, 2 month, or 3 month, then you know at what pace you are going and how much efforts you need to put. If you are something wrong, you have enough timeline to revise everything and even to gather more information if you want to do. So that also helps to balance your personal life, your professional life, and your study time as well. That does help a lot. And once in a while, just dance. If you're alone at home, dance. I would say, because relaxation is the key.
Yeah, physical and mental
Relaxing
relaxation
Relaxation is
both.
the
Yes.
key. Yeah, it is the key. And don't, I would say, like, don't over, I think it was me, was over reading the content again and again and again.
Mm.
Don't overread it. That way told me, the day he told me to stop, I did stop.
Yes,
So
that is
don't.
really, I was so happy. You're one of my favorite student because you was very positive in taking the feedbacks. So if nobody knows that how Sure Success work, and we do the assessments of the
Yes.
students where I will tell the students their actual feedback. And this is one of the example because Yanni used to overthink and
Yeah.
assume, what ma'am, what if his BP is low?
Right.
What if he's having diabetes? Like if they didn't told you in the question, don't
Yeah.
assume it.
Don't
It
assume.
means
Yeah.
that he doesn't have that. Do not
Right.
assume it and stop
Yeah.
it immediately.
Yes.
And she was one of the student who immediately stopped, and I was so amazed in the next day. Oh, back to back, it was the correct answer. The SATA
Yeah.
question when we were doing, it was amazing.
So
And
that's what I learned from my mistake, is do not overthink and do not overstudy. Like, if you have revised, I would say, for revision in a month is like, say, in a month do four topics. Like, if you want to go for like all the GI system, take 4 or 5 days for GI system, not in a one single day or 2 days. Take a long period so that you can gather information rather than just cramming it in 2 days. It will,
yes.
yeah, not, do not overburden your brain. Do not. I did it, and it was the last month, last month before my exam, when we had this assessment and you told me to stop, so I did stop, and it did wonders. Now I'm like just focusing on the question, whatever it says. I'm not thinking out of the context then. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Yanni, for coming to us and giving some times. And I hope your RN journey is going to rock from here. You are going to be one of the amazing, amazing nurse.
Thank you
And
so much.
Canada is proud to have you as a nurse.
Thank you.
I'm sure you are going to look after the patient so well.
Thank you
Thank you
so much.
so
I
much
do
for
really
coming.
appreciate, yeah, all your efforts, yours and Sarav's, in guiding me and teaching me and letting me know. Because you have to embrace whatever you guys are giving the feedback. So
Yeah.
if you don't have that feedback and you don't work on it, it's not gonna work. Yeah.
Yes, so thank you so much, Yanni, for giving us the wise words. And I hope it will going to help our future students and the students who are actually working for themselves and want some relaxation
Yeah.
video. And this is the one. And thank you so much for coming to us.
Thank
And
you.
you
Thank you for
please
having
enjoy.
me.
Yes, thank you.